Hi everybody, it's Nikki here and welcome to another Bookish Friday video for you. So today's video is another book haul. Yeah, remember the last book haul? I said I was on a book buying ban throughout the month of March and April. That didn't happen. Now I did say that I was going to allow myself 2 pre-orders that I already had in Waterstones for 2 books that were coming out in March, and I was going to allow myself to have those 2 books and just those 2 books. I might have bought a few more. I might have bought 22 more books than that. So I bought 24 books in March. It's not good. So a couple of those were box sets, okay? So just we'll start with those. So the first box set I want to show you, I showed in a recent vlog. I got the Infernal Devices box set, which is 3 books. We have Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Princess. I explained why I wanted to buy these in my reading vlog, so if you've watched that you probably know why I've bought these. I did mend the box. If you remember in that video, the box was a bit battered and torn. I have mended the box now looks fine. Yeah, so I bought the box set. The other box set is, well, it's this. It's quite heavy. It's really heavy. So this is the Throne of Glass box set. We have the Assassin's Blade, which is like the novella, and then Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, this is really hurting, Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash. So that's all of these. I had to do it. I'm going to put it down, it's heavy. I had to do it. After reading Kingdom of Ash in March, that was it. I was straight onto Amazon and putting this in my basket and purchasing it because that book, Kingdom of Ash, broke me, and I had to make myself feel better. And B, this box set was actually down half price, so instead of paying 60 odd pounds for it, I got it for about 31 pounds something odd pence. So it was a really great deal. It works out about 4 or 5 pounds for each book. And then the third reason was because we're all in quarantine, so I entertained myself by purchasing one of my favourite series that I've read in many years. So yeah, I love this box set. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's got this beautiful gold sword on this side. It says on the back of it, it says, "Her journey begins with a blade, her destiny will end with a crown." Spoilers. And then you've got that side, and it's the same on the other side, and then just nothing underneath. So yeah, I bought that box set. I couldn't resist it. I really couldn't. So yeah, I'm so happy to own all those. And to be honest, as soon as they arrived, I was kind of like, Owl's Readathon? Do I need to participate in that, or can I just reread the whole box set right now? Because I really wanted to. Watch out, May, that's probably what I'm going to start doing. The next book I also bought during the reading vlog, and that was The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Other Stories by Washington Irving. I was reading The Hollow for my reading vlog, and it was based on the legend, or was themed around the legend of Sleepy Hollow, and it kind of made me want to read the original story. So yeah, this is a Collins classic edition. I was trying to find the Wordsworth editions because those are the classics that I particularly collect. I have quite a few of the Wordsworth editions now, but I couldn't find a Wordsworth edition for this, so I had to buy it in the Collins Classics edition. But it's okay because I do have one other Collins Classic. Ooh, so many C's. Collins Classic edition in Wuthering Heights. So these two will sit nicely together. Now, talking of classics, I bought myself Dracula, the York Notes Advanced for Dracula. I love Dracula. If you may have noticed in a few of my videos, I've mentioned it once or twice. And this is like a study guide for it because I really want to delve into this story, get to know more and more about it because I love it. So I went to know more. So yeah, I bought this. And to go with that, I bought Dracula and Dracula's Guest by Bram Stoker. I already owned the story of Dracula, but when I saw that this one had Dracula's Guest and it also contains other stories by Bram Stoker, I picked this up because I didn't know that Bram Stoker had written other stories about Dracula. So yes, I was very interested, and this is a Tales of Mystery and the Supernatural edition, and I have quite a few of these editions for other stories as well. I know that in Waterstones they were selling these style books, these editions of these books for about £2.99 for a period, and so I picked up a couple, mainly because I was trying to make my basket up to £10 so I would get a stamp, and then I realised how good these stories were, so I actually started adding them even more just because I liked them. So yeah, very excited to have that. Also in that reading vlog I picked up these two books as well, which were Hollow City, the second novel of Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children, and Library of Souls, the third novel of Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children. I already own book one and have read it many years ago. I will probably reread that one before I pick up these two, but yes, at least now I can carry on the series. The next book was actually a gift. Now on Twitter, every now and again, people will tweet about wanting to do a random act of kindness, and if people post their Amazon wish list, then the person who posted the tweet would treat them to something off their wish list. I don't normally take part in those things. I feel really awful about putting my wish list onto posts like that unless I feel like I can reciprocate. On this occasion, I felt like I could reciprocate the act of kindness, so I put my wish list on and I received a book. So somebody kindly bought this for me, so I didn't purchase this. I didn't purchase this one. So this is The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith. And it's basically a book within book. This is a story about characters who are kept in a kind of unwritten wing, a neutral space in hell, presided over by somebody called Claire, the head librarian. And so basically, if a book is left unwritten, the characters are sort of hanging around in this area, and this story is about when one of those characters gets free and causes madness and mayhem. So yes, very excited to read this one. I love books within books, so yes, I was so happy, and I was able to reciprocate and send the person who sent me this a book of their own choosing as well from their wish list. So it was a really nice thing for us to both receive something that we wanted from our wish list at a time when, you know, things are not great, shall we say. So yeah, it was very, very nice of the person to send me this. The next two books were actually bought for me by my husband because I happened to mention to him that when I was ordering the Throne of Glass series, I added a couple of extra books to my order that I really wanted, and ended up taking a couple of books off my basket because I didn't think I could afford all of the books that I was wanting to get. So my husband asked me which books I'd taken off, And then he went and purchased them. Look! So, the first book is Daughter of the Pirate King, and the second book is Daughter of the Siren Queen. Can you see why I wanted them now? Both by Tricia Levenseller. They are books 1 and book 2. And after reading The Shadows Between Us by Tricia Levenseller, I knew that I definitely wanted to pick these 2 books up. And I wanted them in hardback editions as well, because The Shadows Between Us is in hardback, and I wanted to be able to put these all together because they're the same author. So he kindly got me them both. So how nice was that? Oh, my wonderful husband. Now, the next book I got was a graphic novel, because I'm quickly running out of graphic novels to read. And they're really great, sort of like little quick reads to pick up between like big epic reads of like my bigger books. So I do like a couple of graphic novels for that. And this one is the second book in the Steel Prince series, which is Knight of Knaves. And this is written by V.E. Schwab. And this goes with her Shades of Magic series. She does a trilogy called Shades of Magic. And this is kind of like a prequel to her Shades of Magic series, but it's in graphic novel form, whereas her Shades of Magic is in novel form. I have purchased previously the first book in this graphic novel series, and I read it and enjoyed it. I haven't read the Shades of Magic trilogy first, though. I maybe should, but I haven't. But yeah, so I picked up the second edition, the second volume of the Steel Prince graphic novels. Now, the next book is the book that I added to my Throne of Glass order and had to remove the Daughters of the Pirate King books for, and I had to pick this up. As soon as I knew that this book was out there, I knew I needed to buy it. It is The Deep by Alma Katsu, and this book has 2 things that I love. This is a story about the Titanic. I love sunken ships. I kind of created my own project during one of my 6 weeks holidays when I was a kid. I got bored during the 6 weeks holidays, so I would create little projects for myself. So one summer I decided that I would study species of birds, and then one summer I decided to study sunken ships like the Titanic, the Bismarck, the Lusitania, the Mary Rose, all of those. So when I heard that this was a story about the Titanic, and it's a kind of tragic, chilling story of the Titanic, I just had to grab it. And there was also, money Dylan, it's past midnight, and there's also possibility of sirens in here, because I don't know if you can see at the bottom, that's hair. So there was talk of there being sirens in this, and I'm not 100% sure, but Titanic and sirens, like if there are sirens in here and they have something to do with the sinking of the Titanic, you've got me. Like, this is a possible 5 stars. Like, this is a 5-star prediction for me if it has both the Titanic and sirens in it. I know it's about the Titanic, but if it has sirens as well, which I heard rumours that there was, I cannot wait to read this. This is definitely going on my TBR for May, for sure. Yes, if I wasn't doing the owls this month, it would be read this month. So definitely went in that. The next book is The Ghost of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Rees Brennan, Maureen Johnson, Kelly Link and Robin Wasserman. This is a bind-up of lots of short stories that are linked to the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices, both series by Cassandra Clare that I own now. I read the Mortal Instruments finally. And though Infernal Devices was the first trilogy box set that I showed you earlier. So I need to read this book and the Infernal Devices trilogy before I can get to this book. So this is the new release in March that I allowed myself to get because I'd already pre-ordered it. This is Chain of Gold, The Last Hours, Book 1 by Cassandra Clare. It is her newest book in her Shadowhunters series. This is a collector's first edition as well. So it has these beautiful character pages on the front. I don't know if it's signed or not. Was it signed? It doesn't look like it's signed, but that's a shame. But yeah, this was one of the books that I'd pre-ordered that I knew I definitely wanted to get. And yeah, I have quite a few books that I have to read before I can get to this one. But when I do, oh, I mean, just look at that artwork. It is stunning. And apparently what I have heard is a lot of people prefer the Infernal Devices to the Mortal Instruments series. So I'm hoping that when I get to the Infernal Devices, I will enjoy that a lot more than I enjoyed the Mortal Instruments. Mortal Instruments was okay, but it wasn't mind-blowing. So hopefully I will enjoy the Infernal Devices, and then Shadow of the Ghost Market. Ghost of the Shadow Market, and then Chain of Gold. There's a lot of books to read before I get to this one. So that's that. And then the last book that I purchased in the month of March was another pre-order that I had and was going to allow myself to purchase. And that was the new Sarah J. Maas, Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. This is her new adult series. So The Throne of Glass starts as a YA series and then goes into much more adult content from, I'd say, about book 5. So from Empire of Storms onwards, it's kind of more adult material. Whereas Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire and Queen of Shadows are much more sort of YA. This one is complete adult, and I believe this is a heartbreaker as well. I have seen a couple of people's reading vlogs regarding this book, and they have cried and blubbed like a baby. So I am not ready to read this at all, not ready. But this is in my April TBR because this is actually part of my Owls readathon. So yes, I am looking forward to getting to it. It has red sprayed edges and some gorgeous artwork inside. I believe this one is signed. Is this one signed? No, why am I not buying signed copies? I thought these were signed. Maybe not. And then just plain red, so yes. So yeah, that is the last book that I bought. Well, technically it was one of the first books that I bought in the month of March, but that is the end of my March book haul that should never have happened. There's 24 books here, and 22 of them should not have been purchased in March because I was supposed to be on a ban. I was the one putting myself on a ban, nobody else. But I am definitely on a book buying ban for April. Jesus. I have money in my bank account and nothing to do all day but sit on the computer. My fingers are itching. So yeah, that is it. That is my book haul for the 3rd month running with more than 20 books. My TBR is getting longer and longer and longer. Although, to be fair, I've read some of these books. Like this whole box set, they're not going on my TBR because I have read them. So, yes. I'm okay. Anyway, so if you enjoyed this video, I hope you have. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.